All right, this your boy J Pillar Bay. Just want to say thank y'all for all the support, man. That's why it's so easy for me to get back and read. So I've been working, grinding, but I'm back. So we want to read The Ruins of Empire by Count Volney. We're in the Aquarius season. Original people of the month. Holiday going on. And so we're going to go right here. He says, the testimony of writers is very positive in this respect. The Thebans, the Africans, says Diodorus. Now, Diodorus lived in 60 BC, 30 BC. Consider themselves to be the most ancient people of the earth. And assert with them originated philosophy and the science of the stars. Their situation, it is true, is infinitely favorable to the astronomical observation. They have more... Hold on, I'm going to take this little light off a little bit. They have a more accurate time into the months and year than other nations. When Diodorus says the Thebans, every author and himself elsewhere repeats of the Ethiopians, Africans, which tend to firmly establish the identity of this place of which I have spoken. The Ethiopians conceive themselves, says he, to be of greater antiquity than any other nation, and it is probable that born under the sun's path and its warmth may have ripened them earlier than other men. They suppose themselves to be the inventors of divine worship, of festivals, of solemn assemblies, of sacrifices, and every religious practice. They affirm that the Egyptians are one of their colonies, and that the delta, which was formerly sea, became land by conglomeration of the earth of the higher country, which was washed down by the Nile. Okay? So let's read that again in modern times so you can understand what he's saying. He said the testimony of writers, this is in 60 BC, so he's talking about writers in this time, is very positive in this respect. The Thebans, this is Thebans in Kemet. So he's saying these black folks, says Diodorus, a white man in 60 BC. So black people in 60 BC were saying, we are the most ancient people of the earth. This is 60 BC. Oh man, we know we're ancient. This is 60 BC, right? 30 BC. And with us originated philosophy and science of the stars. So this is these African folks, some Moorish folks saying, hey, we created philosophy, not the Greeks, and the science of the stars, astronomy, right? Astrology. This is our stuff. Their situation, it is true, is infinitely favorable to astronomical observation. What he's saying, once I kind of did my studies, it looked like they telling the truth, right? And they have a more accurate division of time into months and years than other nations. So he's like, hey, these African folks over here, they are on point, right? Then he said, what? Now, this is Count Volney. He says, what Diodorus says of the black folks, African folks, every author himself elsewhere says, repeats of the Ethiopians, African black folks, right? They call us Negroes, right? We know who we are, right? Which tend more firmly to establish the identity of the place which I have spoken. The Ethiopians, the Africans, conceive themselves, says he, to be of great antiquity. Great what? Ancient history. Ancient people than any other nation. It is probable that born under the sun, its warmth may have ripened us, right? Ripened. Think what they said of the sun. I tan, right? Earlier than other man. They suppose themselves also to be the inventors of divine worship. So we created divine worship. We created festivals, solemn assemblies of sacrifices, and other religious practice. They affirm. So he's saying people affirm that the Egyptians were one of our colonies, right? And the delta, which was formerly a sea, so the delta was formerly a sea, became land by a conglomerate of the earth in the higher country, which was washed down by the Nile. So as you can see, even back in 6030 BC, African folks consider themselves to be the most ancient people of the earth. So we created philosophy. We created astronomy, and then they say what? Everybody tends to say that us Africans consider ourselves to be the most ancient people of the earth, and the Ethiopia is probably the most ancient nation. All right. So it's your Professor J. Pillar Bay. We still read. Get this in your library. Love, appreciate y'all. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Let's get it.